All right, so this week we are back in Oz again. Today I'm finally reacting to Ariana Grande performing Thank Goodness from the Wicked One Wonderful Night special on NBC. Every week since the special came out, I've been taking my original reaction and splicing it up for every single performance. I had originally skipped both For Good and Thank Goodness just because I hadn't seen the movie at the time. And I wanted the movie to be my very first time hearing the songs themselves. So since then, I've seen the movie a couple times, I've run the soundtrack into the ground, and now I'm ready to see how Ariana brings Glinda to life on the stage and what's different about it live. So yeah, let's jump right in.
Please give a warm welcome to Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh.
I'm interested in seeing what parts of the song actually make it in. Because it seems like only Ariana's going to be performing from the screenshots that I've seen. And I'm wondering if that means they're just going to skip anything involving the ensemble. I hope not. Because I do really like the end of the song. Where they bring the rest of the ensemble in. Sorry, I keep talking about Michelle Yeoh.
Next up, we've got an amazing performance of one of the most beloved songs from the Wicked universe. Performing a special arrangement of Thank Goodness.
There we go, okay.
Just tonight, please welcome the enchanting, the incomparable Ariana Grande.
See, it's just her. She looks beautiful though, wow.
We couldn't be happier, right dear, couldn't be happier. Right here, look what we've got, a fairy tale plot, our very own happy ending, where we couldn't be happier. True, dear, couldn't be happier.
She looks amazing.
And
Whoever styles her deserves an award.
our ending vicariously with all of you. He couldn't look handsomer, I couldn't feel humbler. Because happy is what happens when all your dreams come true.
They skipped the first part with ensemble, which is a bummer. I like that part, but so far they're doing very well. Oh, that was Victoria Monet and Hale and Frankie. Whoa.
That's why
Yeah.
I couldn't
Skipped all of
be
it.
happier. No, I couldn't be happier. Though it is, I admit, the tiniest bit unlike I anticipated.
Original Ariana comes back a little bit.
Simply couldn't be happier. Well, not simply, 'cause getting your dreams is strange.
Her acting is so good.
Complicated. There's a carnival sort cost. There are bridges you cross you didn't know. You cross until you cry.
Oh, amazing. Oh, wow. Oh, she killed that.
Doesn't thrill like you think it will.
I'm telling you, her acting is so good.
With this perfect finale, the cheers and the battle. Who wouldn't be happier? So I couldn't be happier. Because happy is what happens when all your dreams come true. Well, isn't it? Happy is what happens when your dreams
Oh, they changed the ending.
come true.
Very nice, very, very nice. That was Thank Goodness from Wicked One Wonderful Night. I'm a little bit overwhelmed. No, opposite. I'm a little bit underwhelmed. Sorry. ah, I feel like that was there's a little bit of wasted potential in that performance. She did wonderfully. Credit to her. She did absolutely wonderfully. Performed that really well. But I don't understand why this had to be stripped back. I get it was a special arrangement and stuff, but why did that have to be? Maybe they were trying to avoid spoilers, but I think with a choir behind her, this would have been a completely different game. Because they could have actually had the first part of this. They could have had a wider range of emotions, right? Thank goodness if you haven't seen the movie, it starts out with her presenting to the Munchkins, and it's a little bit happier, talking about a celebration, etc., etc. And then they get to this part of it, where she gets to play the acting up a little bit of the sort of conflicted nature of getting all your dreams and how she should be happy, but she isn't. But this was just that part. And then the end, what I love about Thank Goodness is that it reverts back into like the presenting and performing again, where it goes into like bigger belts and pretending like she's happy again. And that's part of what I love about the song so much. So I'm kind of bummed that she just like reverted from Glinda back into Ariana mode and gave a little pop descending run, and then yeah. So I feel like the ending of that kind of bummed me out. Yeah, because it's such a bummer because I've loved all the previous performances so much. I don't think I really liked this performance as much. This was kind of underwhelming. But yeah, to move on from the performance, I do love this song though, because I think Thank Goodness really serves a good case as to why Ariana was perfect for Glinda. And it's because they've lived the same life, almost. If you especially think about this song, right, it is about the conflicted nature of what you have to do to get what your dreams, and how there's always a cost. And when you look at Ariana's career, she does continue to get everything she wants, but also if you think about what Ariana's been through as a person, then you realize that the cost is so steep. I mean, even beyond looking at stuff like the terrorist attacks at her concert, at her ex dying and then having to you sort of deal with that in public and then be blamed for it. I think that latter half is the more insane part. The fact that the sort of controversy and the hatred that you have to deal with on a daily basis, and how difficult that must make life. You know, she was blamed for Mac dying. She stirs up controversy for every small thing. People are upset with her for the fact that she happens to be skinnier, and that's a whole other discussion. I understand people are concerned about maybe her having an eating disorder, but that's gone from simple concern to people actually almost insulting her and Cynthia for it, being like, they're doing this on purpose. They're trying to, like, you know, have this be the new beauty standard. They're having, you know, and saying all things about calling them grotesque and calling them all sorts of things and then pretending like it's for concern when really it's just people making fun of another person's body. At the end of the day, that's what it is, right? I realize I just touched on something I shouldn't have touched on because I have so much to say on that topic. So that's for another time, I suppose. But the point is, if you think about what she's had to go through as a celebrity, the cost is so high. And so I think for that reason, she was the perfect person to play Glinda, because she understands the fact that it's so black and white and so conflicting, getting your dreams. One of the things that really points to this is a speech that Ariana gave for like when she was awarded Billboard Woman of the Year.
I want to say that I find it interesting that this has been one of like the best years of my career and like the worst of my life. I'm not saying that for sympathy. I'm just saying that because I feel like a lot of people would look at someone in my position right now, I guess, like Woman of the Year, an artist that could be at her peak, like reaching her, you know, whatever, and think she's really got her shit together, you know, like she's really on it, like she's got it all. And I do, but as far as like my personal life goes, I really have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
I think that this song perfectly portrays exactly what Ariana's life has been as a pop star. And for that reason, I think that she has real life experience she can tap into when she's playing this part, which is very cool. I think it made the part better. I think it made her a better actress for this. But in general, it really serves a case as to why she was the perfect person to choose for this. When it comes to people talking about the way Ariana looks and the way all the other actresses look in this movie, I'm of two minds. on one hand, I think that they do look skinny. Very skinny. At some point, frighteningly skinny. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Especially the fact that it seems to be impacting all of them, it makes me think that filming Wicked must have been incredibly stressful. And if you see how emotional they get, yeah, that's clearly true. And it is fully possible they're ill. That's something to keep in mind. Absolutely, it's fully possible that they're ill, whether that be eating disorder, whether it be some other sort of disorder that's not more mental based. So I agree with those sentiments that there might be something going on, and if there's something going on behind the scenes, I hope they get better. I hope they have good support circles. I think they do have good support circles, and I hope they recover from what they're going through. But my other side of this, of two minds, the other side of this, the way people are treating this online is straight up cruel. Because I see so many people being like, we have to talk about how this is happening. Why? What are we gaining from that? I've seen people use all sorts of coping and strange justification to make it okay for them to tear apart another person's body. And none of it makes sense. I will never understand it. I've seen people be like, oh, well, we're just concerned because they might have an eating disorder. Okay, if you're coming from that perspective, what could talking about their body possibly do to fix the situation? How could that, what you're doing when you're making a video and you're talking about their bodies and focusing on showing little pictures and talking about how grotesque they look, how does that help? If you're just concerned, how does this show that concern? Do you never think about the consequences of the actions, or are you too busy focused on your own intentions? Because at the end of the day, no matter how concerned you are, by going out and making this entire video, picking apart another person's appearance and then acting like it's out of concern, imagine if they saw that. If they really do have an eating disorder, that may just drive them further into it. That may justify their actions. That make them feel good about what they are doing, or it might make them feel terrible, and then they perceive it even further into it if it's born out of depression or something like that. So really, if anything, by making all those videos, not only are you driving up the hatred for that artist, but if you think about if they'd seen it, if anything, you'd make the situation worse for them. So in the situation that you're making videos or you're posting on social media about it, or even having those discussions in person with someone, either you are too oblivious and ignorant to think about anything beyond your own intentions. You're not thinking about the consequences of your actions, what actually talking about it in the open means. That you're not talking about it. And that's a problem, to not think past your own actions. To not think about what the impact would be if someone saw that you were posting about them on social media, saw the way that I'm sure Ariana sees, I'm sure Cynthia sees, I'm sure they see the way that they're picked apart physically, the way people zoom in on photos to be you can see their clavicle here, you can see their ribs here, right? They are definitely seeing it. So the first option is that you are just oblivious and ignorant to that, which is a problem. The other potential here is even worse. It's that you don't care. It's that the idea of you being concerned is just not true. And I think a lot of it, more than any of us are willing to admit, is that second part. That people aren't actually concerned. They just like talking about it because it makes them feel better. And the reason I say that a lot of this is that second case is because I keep seeing it on social media, on TikTok, on Twitter, where people be like, they look grotesque. They look disgusting. I can see her sternum. That's gross. And clearly they're trying to make this the new beauty standard. That tells me that those people don't actually care. It's just another reason to vilify celebrities. And I think it's really important to make it very, very clear here that when it comes to parasocial relationships, the people who obsess over these artists in their favor, who love these artists and obsess over it as if those celebrities are their friends, that is parasocial behavior. But so is hatred. So is the kind of behavior that you're obsessing over them, you're looking at photos, images of them, you're talking about it on social media, you're calling them grotesque. That hatred, while it may make you feel good, it is also parasocial, and you need to touch some grass. It is ridiculous. You need to touch some grass, and you need to go out there and work on your own insecurities, so you don't need to do shit like that to feel better about yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. If you're talking so hatefully about someone, it's just what's inside of you. You have hate inside of you. And the only way to fix that is to work on your own insecurities and work on your own self-esteem, so you don't need to do that to feel better about yourself. And yeah, so I mean, just seeing the way people talk about these, it's like they forget they're people. It's like they forget the impact that their words have. And I cannot imagine how difficult it must be for not only Ariana, but for Cynthia and for Michelle. Yeah, the way people pick apart their appearance, talk about, like, fake concern to talk about how grotesque they look. I wanted to say that, and then I also wanted to mention that, again, us saying that these people are ill, they're going through something, is just a guess. How people have become so confident about this is completely ridiculous. At the end of the day, if you look at the photos, Ariana's always been skinny. There's photos from the Dangerous Woman tour, from the Sweet No World tour, from when she was way young, where you could still see her sternum. You could see her shoulder. You could see, people were like, oh, you can see her scapula in the back. You could always kind of see that. Hell, you can see that on most people. You can. I'm sorry. Also, lighting is a thing to consider too. So we don't even know what's going on. We don't have a right to know what's going on. And you are not a better person for speculating on what's going on. If you're going out there being like, they must have an eating disorder, you're not a better person for talking about it in that way. I'm sorry. For people saying that I want to bring this up to, like, make sure people know it's unhealthy, again, you're not a better person for that at all, because you're bringing down another person to make yourself feel better. That's what you're doing at the end of the day. I know this was rambly. I didn't prepare things to say about this beforehand. But I did want to talk about that for a little bit in the hopes that of the 50 people who are going to maybe watch this video, that you leave this video thinking about the consequences of your actions rather than just the intentions. Because if you're discussing these kinds of things on social media, if you're not, that's fine too, right? I don't really talk about these things on social media, except for, I guess, uploading a YouTube video. But if you're someone who likes to go on TikTok and comment on videos scrutinizing their appearance, or make the videos scrutinizing their appearance, or tweet about it, or whatever, I urge you to think about what your true intentions are and what the consequences of you posting are. What would it be like if that person actually saw it? Because you'll find that those things do not coincide. They do not go together. Yeah, I think I've said my piece on that. This makes this a little bit more of a disappointing video, but honestly, I didn't have much to say about the performance. I thought it was just okay. So I think it was better to frame it about this. But yeah, I'm going to end that there. I hope you enjoyed the performance. I hope that this video, I guess, was helpful or interesting or anything. And if it wasn't, that's fine too. But I think when the topic comes up, I would be remiss if I didn't say my piece. But I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for watching. Please tune into the other videos I have in this sort of Wicked series. I've reacted to all the performances from this special, and they've been some very cool performances. So yeah, I hope you check that out. If you enjoy, please comment what you'd like me to react next. Subscribe if you're interested in the rest of the stuff that I post. But other than that, have a good one. Thank you for watching. Bye.